Almost. Not quite yet, believe it or not.
But started writing when you were, what, 15?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my first song I wrote at 11.
Known worldwide as a multi-Grammy-winning artist and a powerful advocate for authenticity, Alicia Keys has redefined what it means to be a modern icon. But what does life look like for this soulful superstar in 2025? In this video, we take you behind the scenes of Alicia Keys' extraordinary lifestyle. From her stunning oceanfront homes that mirror her elegance, to her curated collection of luxury and eco-conscious cars, every detail reveals a life shaped by talent, intention, and resilience. We'll also explore her groundbreaking career achievements, her inspiring role as a mother, and her estimated net worth in 2025. This isn't just a glimpse at fame and fortune. It's a journey into how passion and purpose can create a truly remarkable life. Net worth and business empire. As of 2025, Alicia Keys holds an estimated net worth of $150 million, a figure that reflects not just longevity in the music industry, but an extraordinary ability to diversify, evolve, and lead with intention. Her fortune isn't built solely on record sales or sold-out tours. It's a carefully layered empire, spanning artistry, entrepreneurship, and cultural influence. At the core of her wealth lies her unparalleled music catalog. With over 90 million records sold worldwide and timeless hits still generating steady royalties, Alicia's compositions continue to stream across generations. Her tours remain global events, elegant productions that blend intimacy with grandiosity, each ticket a contribution to a legacy crafted in real time. Yet, Alicia Keys is far more than a performer. Her role as a businesswoman is equally commanding. In 2020, she launched Keys Soul Care, a beauty and wellness brand rooted in rituals and self-affirmation. By 2025, it has grown into a multi-million-dollar lifestyle platform, stocked in major retailers and embraced by wellness communities globally. With each product, she offers not just skincare, but soul nourishment. Her signature ethos in every bottle. Beyond beauty, she's an author, executive producer, and media collaborator. Her 2020 memoir, More Myself, became a New York Times bestseller, and her ongoing partnerships with streaming platforms and networks have turned her into a behind-the-scenes powerhouse, producing documentaries, specials, and original content that amplify untold stories. Alongside husband Swizz Beatz, Alicia has invested in art, tech, and real estate, forming one of the industry's most dynamic creative power couples. Together, they curate a private art collection valued in the tens of millions and support emerging artists through philanthropic initiatives and strategic patronage. Her wealth, while impressive in scale, mirrors her guiding principle that true success is measured not in possessions, but in purpose. Alicia Keys has not only secured her financial future, she's crafted a blueprint for generational wealth rooted in authenticity, creativity, and cultural capital. Career achievements and milestones. Alicia Keys' career is not marked by fleeting moments of fame. It is sculpted by longevity, reinvention, and an unshakable artistic compass. Since her explosive debut in 2001, she has collected accolades with a quiet confidence, allowing the work to speak louder than any headline ever could. She is a 15-time Grammy Award winner, with her earliest trophies earned for Songs in a Minor, a debut that sold over 12 million copies and introduced a voice both ancient and new. With Fallen, she didn't just top charts, she opened hearts. Each album since has traced a journey inward and outward. From the sensual introspection of the Diary of Alicia Keys to the raw vulnerability of Here and the spiritual poise of Alicia, released during a year when the world stood still. By 2025, her discography spans over 2 decades of personal and cultural evolution. She's written anthems of love, loss, and liberation. Her voice, rich, velvety, and unmistakably hers, has become a fixture in global consciousness, sampled and celebrated by generations of musicians to follow. Yet Alicia's reach extends far beyond the microphone. She became one of the few women of color to host the Grammy Awards, twice, bringing grace and unity to a stage often clouded by industry politics. She's produced on Broadway, authored a memoir, and composed music for film and television. Her name appears in credits not just as a performer, but as a visionary, collaborating with icons from Jay-Z to Brandi Carlile, and mentoring emerging voices through activism and industry programs. Alicia Keys has carved out a legacy that blends brilliance with mentorship. In every studio session and live performance, she carries a sense of reverence for music, for truth, and for the power of sound to heal. In 2025, Alicia stands not just as an entertainer, but as a cultural institution. A woman who mastered the art of longevity while remaining defiantly soulful, beautifully grounded, and artistically free. House Tour, Razor House and Urban Roots. Perched like a sculpture above the Pacific, Alicia Keys' primary residence in 2025 is nothing short of cinematic. Known as the Razor House, her La Jolla estate in Southern California is often referred to as the real-life Iron Man Mansion, a moniker that only begins to capture its architectural drama. Designed by Wallace E. Cunningham and acquired by Alicia and Swizz Beatz in 2019 for a reported $20.8 million, the cliffside property represents more than status. It reflects a lifestyle curated for privacy, creativity, and panoramic serenity. The home itself is a feat of engineering. Floor-to-ceiling glass walls wrap around its curved frame, offering uninterrupted views of the Pacific Ocean. Inside, every surface glistens with intention. Polished concrete, smooth limestone, and brushed steel come together in a harmony of modernist minimalism. The living room seems to float above the waves, while a private cinema and infinity-edge pool blur the lines between luxury and landscape. But this is not merely a trophy home. At its core, the Razor House is a sanctuary. Tucked away within its angular elegance is Alicia's personal recording studio, a space where hits are born amid natural light and ocean breeze. Meditation rooms, curated art installations, and indoor-outdoor lounges turn the home into an extension of her philosophy, soulful living in architectural form. Though La Jolla serves as the family's coastal retreat, Alicia maintains strong ties to New York. Her Manhattan penthouse reflects a more urban sensibility. Warm woods, exposed brick, and skyline views. And in Harlem, where her journey began, she holds investment properties and community spaces, ensuring her roots remain not just symbolic, but spatially grounded. Her residences are as layered as her music, designed with elegance, but lived in with warmth. Whether composing barefoot on a cliffside piano or journaling in a high-rise nook, Alicia Keys lives in spaces that mirror her essence. Bold, refined, and deeply intentional. Car collection. Class meets conscious luxury. Alicia Keys' car collection isn't about flash, it's about statement. Like her music and her lifestyle, every vehicle she owns tells a story of elegance, purpose, and personality. In 2025, her garage is a reflection of refined taste grounded in both heritage and modern consciousness. At the heart of the collection is a vintage Ford Mustang, a nod to Americana and timeless soul. This classic ride, often spotted during coastal drives with the top down, blends nostalgia with rebellion, a perfect metaphor for Alicia herself. It's more than a car, it's a memory in motion, humming with the energy of retro cool and self-assured independence. Beside it sits a Lotus Evora, a sleek, low-slung performance vehicle chosen not just for its aesthetic appeal, but for its precision and control. Understated compared to flashier sports cars, the Evora echoes Alicia's approach to fame. Quietly powerful, unshakably smooth. For family life and frequent travel, she opts for practicality without compromising sophistication. Her Cadillac Escalade ESV, outfitted with luxe interiors and custom soundproofing, is less a vehicle and more a mobile sanctuary. Spacious enough for family road trips, yet refined enough for red carpet arrivals, it carries the Keys-Dean family in comfort and class. But perhaps the most telling of her collection is the Porsche Taycan, a fully electric luxury vehicle that represents Alicia's commitment to sustainability and innovation. With zero emissions and futuristic tech, it aligns perfectly with her public embrace of mindful living and environmental awareness. In this car, speed meets silence, technology meets intention. Her car collection may not scream excess, but it speaks volumes. Each vehicle serves a purpose. Each one selected not for the camera flash, but for the quiet thrill of alignment with her values. In motion or at rest, Alicia Keys travels through life as she always has, gracefully, deliberately, and completely on her own terms. Fashion and style. Effortless earth tone, elegance. Alicia Keys doesn't wear clothes, she embodies them. Her fashion is never an attempt to impress, but always an extension of who she is. Grounded, graceful, and unapologetically herself. In 2025, her style stands as a signature blend of natural ease and refined edge, where comfort meets intention and authenticity becomes couture. She made headlines years ago for her bold decision to go makeup-free on red carpets and in public life. A quiet revolution in an industry built on image. That moment wasn't about rejection, but reclamation. Alicia's look became a statement of self-worth, a reminder that beauty begins with honesty. And even now, as the world spins toward louder aesthetics, she remains a beacon of serene restraint. Her wardrobe tells the same story. Flowy silhouettes in earth tones dominate her offstage attire. Wide-legged trousers, oversized knits, relaxed suiting. On stage, however, she transforms. Think metallic jumpsuits, dramatic capes, and Afro-futuristic gowns, pieces that move as she moves, accentuating both power and poise. She gravitates toward designers who share her ethos, brands rooted in sustainability, cultural integrity, and craft. From Stella McCartney's eco-conscious collections to Ghanaian label Christy Brown's modern takes on African tradition, Alicia uses fashion not as decoration, but as dialogue. Even her accessories feel curated rather than adorned. Beaded head wraps, handcrafted jewelry, and signature turbans elevate her look without overwhelming it. She favors soft structure over hard lines, skin over shimmer, and meaning over moment. In the fashion world, she walks a lane entirely her own. Respected not for trends followed, but for standards set. Alicia's style is not performative, it's meditative, a mirror of her inner clarity and creative sovereignty. Whether barefoot at a piano or center stage in sculpted silk, she dresses not for approval, but for alignment with her purpose, her culture, and her peace. Love, life, and children. The bond with Swizz Beatz. Behind the spotlight and the accolades, Alicia Keys' most enduring collaboration is not with a label or a brand, but with her husband, fellow artist, and producer Kasim Dean, known globally as Swizz Beatz. Their union, sealed in 2010, is more than a marriage. It's a fusion of creative minds, shared values, and deep emotional grounding. Their love story didn't begin in fireworks. It unfolded over years, shaped by friendship and artistic synergy. Though they knew each other since their teenage years, it wasn't until adulthood that timing aligned. Together, they've built a world that thrives on mutual respect, soulful connection, and a deep understanding of each other's rhythm, personally and professionally. Their dynamic is fluid. He paints, curates, and produces. She writes, sings, and creates. Yet, despite the glamour, their partnership is strikingly down to earth. They meditate together, raise children with intentionality, and share a mutual obsession with art, culture, and evolution. Their joint projects, whether an art auction or a family retreat, are guided by purpose, not PR. Their greatest shared creation, however, is family. The couple has two sons, Egypt Daoud, born in 2010, and Genesis Ali, born in 2014. Alicia has spoken openly about motherhood reshaping her worldview, slowing her down in the best ways, grounding her ambition with meaning. Egypt, now a budding pianist and occasional studio guest, shares his mother's musical ear While Genesis is known for his creativity and wit, Alicia and Swizz maintain a blended family as well, lovingly co-parenting Swizz's children from previous relationships, an extension of their commitment to harmony and inclusiveness. They shield their children from excess while exposing them to expression. Vacations are often tied to culture and history. Studio visits are learning experiences, and dinner tables are places of laughter, not just luxury. In a world where fame often fragments, Alicia and Swizz have composed something rare: a family in tune, a marriage in balance, and a love story that continues to evolve, quietly, fiercely, and beautifully offbeat. Philanthropy and personal passions. Purpose as a practice. For Alicia Keys, success has never been a finish line, it's a platform. Her influence extends far beyond music charts or luxury estates. It reaches into communities, conversations, and causes that need a voice, not a spotlight. In 2025, her philanthropy isn't a side project. It's part of her daily rhythm, woven into the very fabric of how she lives and leads. She is the co-founder of Keep a Child Alive, a nonprofit dedicated to providing life-saving treatment, care, and support to children and families affected by HIV/AIDS in Africa and India. Since its founding in 2003, the organization has grown from grassroots activism to a global initiative, supported by international summits, benefit concerts, and direct aid that bypasses bureaucracy to meet urgent needs. But Alicia's activism goes far beyond a single cause. Over the years, she has become a leading voice in the movement for racial justice, prison reform, and women's empowerment. She uses her platform not to posture, but to participate, signing petitions, marching in protests, and funding programs that lift underserved voices into visibility. One of her more intimate projects is her work in mental health and wellness, particularly within the Black community. She's been an outspoken advocate for therapy, meditation, and spiritual self-care, often leading conversations that were once considered taboo. Through Keys Soul Care, she extends this mission with accessible rituals that blend skincare with emotional reflection, bringing mindfulness to the mainstream. Outside of activism, her passions remain deeply personal. She journals daily, practices yoga and breathwork, and often retreats into nature to recalibrate. Painting, scent blending, and spontaneous piano improvisations aren't hobbies, they're healing tools. She's known to gift handwritten notes and curated playlists to friends, always finding a way to make art out of connection. Alicia Keys doesn't perform compassion, she lives it. In every philanthropic effort, every breath of stillness, and every act of generosity, she proves that the truest luxury is living with purpose, presence, and an open heart. Background story: Harlem's melodic soul. Long before the Grammys and the global tours, before the glass mansions and global campaigns, Alicia Keys was Alicia Augello Cook, a girl raised by rhythm and resilience in the vibrant, volatile heart of New York City. Born on January 25, 1981, in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood of Manhattan, Alicia's earliest memories were shaped by contrast, the grit of the streets and the grace of symphonies. Her mother, Teresa Augello, an actress and paralegal, raised her as a single parent after Alicia's father left during her early childhood. It was Teresa who nurtured Alicia's creativity, protecting her daughter from the harshness of their surroundings while never shielding her from reality. Their small apartment was modest, but within its walls lived poetry, purpose, and a second-hand piano that would soon become an extension of Alicia's soul. By the age of 7, Alicia was studying classical piano, learning the works of Chopin and Beethoven with a discipline that belied her age. She attended the Professional Performing Arts School, where she majored in choir and honed her voice, both musically and personally. Here, she was exposed not just to music theory, but to the power of artistic identity. Her adolescence unfolded against the backdrop of the 1990s New York. Gritty, raw, and pulsing with hip-hop energy, Alicia navigated it all with a rare kind of poise, straddling two worlds: the concrete classroom of the city streets and the sacred sanctuary of the piano bench. She was a teenager, who could freestyle on a corner and sight-read Mozart in the same afternoon. By 16, she had graduated high school early and earned a scholarship to Columbia University. But the call of music was too loud to ignore. She left after a month to pursue her passion full-time, a decision that, at the time, felt like a leap of faith. In hindsight, it was the beginning of a legacy. Alicia Keys didn't just emerge from New York. She was shaped by it, sharpened by it, softened by it. And even now, with the world at her fingertips, the rhythm of those early days still echoes in everything she creates. Rise to fame, songs in a minor and stardom. When Alicia Keys stepped onto the world stage in 2001, it wasn't with noise, it was with soul. Her debut album, Songs in a Minor, was a quiet storm that changed everything. A blend of classical piano, raw emotion, and hip-hop edge. It didn't just announce a new artist, it declared the arrival of a new era in music. Released under Clive Davis's newly launched J Records, the album was an immediate phenomenon. Its lead single, Fallen, dominated the airwaves with a simplicity that cut through the clutter. No heavy production, no gimmicks, just Alicia, her piano, and a voice that sounded like it had lived 100 lives. The track topped the Billboard Hot 100 and earned her 5 Grammy Awards, an unheard-of sweep for a debut artist. But Alicia's rise was more than commercial. She entered the scene as a fully formed artist, writing, composing, and producing her own material. At a time when authenticity was rare and marketability reigned supreme, she was both, genuinely gifted and globally captivating. With her cornrows, crop tops, and unwavering presence behind the piano, she represented a new kind of woman in R&B, intellectual, emotional, and in full control of her narrative. Songs in a Minor would go on to sell over 12 million copies worldwide, cementing her as a global icon before her 21st birthday. But fame didn't distort her, it refined her. Her sophomore album, The Diary of Alicia Keys, proved she wasn't a one-hit wonder, delivering more chart-topping singles like You Don't Know My Name and If I Ain't Got You. Each record deepened her sound, explored her vulnerability, and expanded her reach. From MTV stages to global festivals, Alicia's performances became more than shows. They were spiritual experiences. She didn't just perform songs, she channeled them, commanding silence with a single note. In an industry that often eats its young, Alicia Keys emerged not just intact, but elevated. Her rise wasn't a spike, it was a sunrise, inevitable, radiant, and rooted in something real. Hidden talents and lesser-known facts, layers beyond the lyrics. Beyond the global stages and best-selling records, Alicia Keys is a woman of surprising depths, a mosaic of talents and quiet curiosities that rarely make headlines but speak volumes about the breadth of her inner world. Few know, for instance, that Alicia is fluent in Italian, a language she learned during her formative years in classical music training. Her ease with languages reflects her love of communication in all forms, whether through melody, conversation, or verse. It's this same fascination with expression that has made her not only a songwriter, but a poet, often penning verses in journals long before they become lyrics. Her creativity extends well beyond music. Alicia has a deep passion for visual art and interior architecture. She's been known to sketch room designs and mood boards for her own properties, curating each space not just with design in mind, but with energy and emotion. Her approach to creating a home mirrors her approach to creating a song. Every detail must feel authentic and alive. Alicia is also a certified scent-scaping enthusiast, a little-known personal hobby where she blends essential oils and fragrances to shape mood through aroma. Friends and family often describe her spaces as having a distinct Alicia Keys scent, calming, grounded, and soulfully warm. She also has an unexpected love for motorcycles, often riding with Swizz Beatz during quiet getaways or spontaneous adventures. It's a side of her the public rarely sees. Wind in her hair, no cameras in sight, just the thrill of freedom and motion. In quieter moments, she's drawn to healing practices like Reiki, sound baths, and herbalism. She's trained in breathwork, studies plant-based medicine, and reads books on ancient philosophies with the same intensity she once applied to Chopin. These lesser-known facets don't just add dimension. They underscore a truth that runs through everything she does. Alicia Keys is not defined by what's visible. Her magic often lives in the margins, where creativity meets curiosity, and where fame quietly gives way to depth. Scandals, struggles, and setbacks. Grace through the storm. Even the most radiant lives are not without shadow, and Alicia Keys has faced her share of storms. But unlike many public figures, she has never clung to perfection. Instead, she has allowed her setbacks and struggles to shape her, quietly transforming adversity into clarity. One of the most public chapters of her personal life came during the early days of her relationship with Swizz Beatz. Their love blossomed while he was navigating a highly publicized divorce, sparking headlines, speculation, and judgment. Alicia, known for her grace and discretion, maintained her silence for years. When she finally addressed the controversy, it was not to defend, but to reflect, sharing that their connection began only after boundaries were respected and paths had clearly diverged. In true Alicia fashion, she chose understanding over argument, clarity over chaos. But the harder battles have often been internal. At the height of her success, Alicia began to experience what many artists fear: burnout. The pace was relentless: albums, tours, interviews, expectations. She found herself on autopilot, disconnected from the very music that once nourished her. In that silence, she chose to step back, recenter, and rediscover her voice, not as a performer, but as a person. Her decision to go makeup-free in 2016 also ignited controversy. What she intended as a personal liberation became a public debate. Critics labeled it performative, while others questioned her motives. But Alicia stood firm, not as a symbol, but as a woman reclaiming her image on her own terms. Throughout these moments, she's never lashed out or leaned into spectacle. Instead, she's modeled what resilience looks like when it's soft, spiritual, and steady. Her struggles have not dimmed her light, they've refined it, polishing away illusion to reveal something far more powerful: truth. Alicia Keys hasn't just survived the weight of scrutiny, she's transformed it into wisdom, and in doing so, she's given countless others permission to do the same. Legacy and cultural impact, a symphony that echoes beyond sound. Alicia Keys' legacy is not tethered to a single song or moment. It lives in the quiet revolutions she sparked, the boundaries she softened, and the standards she redefined. In an industry obsessed with reinvention, she achieved something more rare. She remained rooted. Her cultural imprint stretches across music, activism, and identity. As a classically trained pianist who brought Chopin to MTV, she reimagined what R&B could sound like, merging soul with sonatas, vulnerability with virtuosity. In doing so, she opened doors for a generation of genre-defying artists who saw in her a blueprint for authenticity. She became an early voice for mental health and inner wellness, long before those conversations were mainstream. Her open embrace of meditation, self-inquiry, and emotional healing helped dismantle taboos, especially within communities of color. Through her platform, she invited the world not just to hear her, but to feel themselves more deeply. Her choice to appear makeup-free on the world stage wasn't a trend, it was a turning point. She challenged the very architecture of celebrity beauty, replacing polish with presence. In a world chasing filters and perfection, Alicia's natural face became an emblem of self-respect and inner light. Through Keep a Child Alive, she transformed empathy into impact, bringing global awareness and funding to the fight against HIV/AIDS. Through her mentorship and quiet philanthropy, she has uplifted countless emerging artists, thinkers, and dreamers. In fashion, she never chased trends but inspired movements. In motherhood, she modeled softness without sacrifice. And in marriage, she showed that love could be a collaboration, not a compromise. Her influence is not loud, but it lingers, You hear it in the artists she's inspired, the causes she's championed, and the silences she has filled with sincerity. Alicia Keys' cultural impact is not a spotlight, it's a ripple, one that continues to expand, slowly, deliberately, changing the shape of everything it touches. She didn't just play music, she retuned the world's ears to something deeper. And in doing so, she ensured that her legacy won't fade, it will echo. As the world continues to evolve, so does Alicia Keys, but always in alignment with her truest self. She has never rushed the rhythm of her life, choosing instead to move with deliberate grace, trusting intuition over impulse. In 2025, she stands not only as a musical icon, but as a woman who has authored her life with the same honesty she brings to every lyric. Her journey has been both luminous and grounded, an elegant contradiction that defines her. From platinum plaques to pages of poetry, from the bustling streets of Harlem to glass-wrapped sanctuaries on the California coast, Alicia Keys has crafted a legacy that is deeply felt but never forced. She doesn't simply live in luxury, she lives in alignment. There are no gimmicks here, no chasing of trends or need for reinvention. Her lifestyle is a mirror of her values, intentional, inspired, and deeply soulful. Whether composing barefoot in her Ocean View studio, leading wellness conversations in boardrooms, or raising her sons with compassion and clarity, Alicia moves through life like a melody, unrushed, unshaken, unforgettable. She is a rare force in an era of fleeting fame, a reminder that you can lead with gentleness and still make waves. That artistry doesn't require noise, only depth. And that true power often whispers where others shout. Alicia Keys is not just a name etched into music history. She is a blueprint for living with purpose, a portrait of what it looks like when a life is designed not around applause, but around authenticity. And as the sun continues to rise on the next chapter of her story, one thing is certain: the keys to her future are the same ones that unlocked her past. Truth, intention, and the courage to live her life in perfect harmony.